Good morning, everybody. Let's roll through the top chats. Steve Parsons in first. Robert Lonis trailed us. Shane Lalonde. Hubcap, how you doing, buddy? Paul Orchard, Wayne Heights, and that's it. And then the lurkers. How's everybody doing? Um, Sorry, I got to set up so I can see the stats. Um, what is up? How's everybody doing today? Uh, I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Man, I'm sore from yesterday. I don't even know why. I think it was digging through that pile of branches and everything, and chopping and all that stuff. I know for those of you who popped into my stream yesterday, um, it looked like Kelly was doing all the chopping, but you know, I was doing some too. Uh, what's up, Jeff? Um, but yeah, so just woke up sore, threw down some BCs, and it's like, all right, let's go. Um, and on that, I will say real quick, and I'll probably touch again on it later in the show, or before at the outro and whatnot. Um, One reason I did that was because I may not have time to do a show tonight. So you still get a weekend show with me from yesterday, um, weekend forging show. Uh, I may not have time to do it tonight. I have a guild meeting pretty much like immediately following the stream. I got to toss on my kilt and jump in the truck, um, and go to the guild Christmas party. So, woohoo! um, Yeah, I'm just waiting to do as little as possible on the download. Right? I do as little as possible. Um, but anyway, I think we've got a fun show. Um, our topic today is a steel that we've been looking at for a while, but we'll get into that. It's a neat little thing about this steel. Um, let's go with how was your week there, Alex?
Yeah, my week was shall we say interesting, I guess. My daughter wrecked her car back Monday, I guess. Everybody's okay, no worries there, but
Good.
dealing with, so I like took off from work on Monday and I've been home ever since. So I'm definitely going back this evening. Uh, since my daughter doesn't have a car, she's gonna have to take me to Midland, drop me off, and bring my pickup back. That'll be fun. And yeah, so been dealing with insurance, and then went to try to do some car shopping, and turns out I couldn't because after changing my name and all that, my numbers and my name don't match on my credit reports. So I have to wait for them to change my stuff before I can get a loan. So yeah, that was something that I was not aware of that was a thing. So
Yeah.
um, I just thought it would automatically switch over, but no. When they went to look up my current name with my social security number, it's like I didn't even exist. And I was like, and they're like, "Are you sure that this is the right social security number?" I'm like, yeah, and I could pull my credit up. I'm like, look, here it is right here. And they're like, yeah, but you can pull it up, but we can't. And I'm like, oh, man. And it's just a whole thing because like Equifax lets you submit the documentation to change it. They just have to review it. But Experian and TransUnion, a creditor has to change your name. And so I was like, I only have one creditor. So I went ahead and like sent that creditor my new information. And so then after they approve it, they'll change my name with them. And then the next time they report to the credit agencies, it'll update. So I mean, it could be as far out as a month. We'll see.
Right. That
But that's been
that
my week in a nutshell.
yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I think we discussed this. I recently checked my credit. I was very happy with it. Um, like what, like 655, something like that. Not like horrible, but not great. I thought it was going to
Right.
be like 300 because I don't pay attention to anything like that. What's up, Adam? What's up, Robert? But yeah, that sucks. I'm glad your daughter's all right. You know, silver lining, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just I guess the insurance adjuster is supposed to be there Wednesday to determine if it's fixable or if it's totaled. So we'll see.
Oh, I hate waiting on that. I remember when my Aveo got wrecked, and I'm sure I've told this story before, but like it was my first brand new car that I bought, like my first brand new car. 7 miles on it when I started driving it. Drove it for 5 years. It was a Chevy Aveo. Drove it for 5 years, 140,000 miles on it, and you know, I was driving down the road 45 miles an hour, speed limit, and some jamoke pulled out or blew a stop sign on a side street and pulled out right in front of me, and I T-boned him. And yeah, that little plastic car saved my life. Airbags went off. It's like everybody thought I was like severely injured because I would not get out of the car because I was just in shock. Like, I was like, cops are like, you need to get out. I'm like, like, are you okay? Give me a second, because I knew that would be the last time I was ever in that car, and I loved it. um, but yeah, it was total. So the line between if the airbags deployed, it's totaled.
No, they did not. So
Okay,
that's
there.
why it's kind of that's why it's up in the air.
Okay, okay, because that was my frame was all right. It was just front end damage and a little bit of engine damage, but because the um, airbags deployed, it was considered total.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's a pretty good measuring stick right there is the airbags. Now the car that hit my daughter, every airbag in that Camry blew, but the Equinox did not. So we'll see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Fingers crossed. I mean, uh, if you got good insurance though on that, the insurance, like they should cover you, or they should cover
Oh
her.
no, and it's really no big deal either way. I mean, if it's not total, it'll cost me a $500 deductible to fix it, and if it is, then it'll just get paid off. So because I do have my insurance set to where it pays 20% over the value of the car. So
Right. There you go. There you go. Um, Speaking of the week for you, I'm gonna stick with you for a second. The congratulations on winning that Andrew Larson straight peen hammer. I am
I know,
so
right?
jealous. uh,
I know.
yeah, which brings us to you know, the what this was the week after or the weekend after the big annual Christ Centered Ironworks Blacksmith Christmas giveaway, or whatever order those words make it correct. um, it was, if you missed it, it was fantastic. Most of you guys, I saw you all there. Congratulations to all the winners, and I'm sure Roy will pop in here later, and we'll give another thank you to him when he does. I know it sounds like platitudes, but for all he does for the community, he deserves as much, appreciation for that, and for everything, whenever he's in. I know it seems like, kowtowing, or what's the phrase, butt sniffing, or but yeah, it's like legit. He deserves it. He does a lot. Him and Jess, do quite a bit.
Right. I'm just extremely grateful for the opportunity to have the chance. I mean, like it was so much fun. I was there for the whole stream. Usually, I mean, because Roy goes live so early on those Friday live streams, I usually miss the first half. Because that is, I mean, it doesn't really matter if I'm day shift or night shift on those days. I'm driving during his stream. I mean, I'm either going in or coming in or going out during that time. So I usually miss most of the stream. And because of my this week's situation, I just happened to be sitting around doing nothing. So I'm like, yeah, right on. So I was able to catch it, and I mean, like real early in the stream, even won that hammer, and I was like, whoa, no way! I
Right?
can't believe I actually won. So
Yeah. I
pretty
tried and
stoked.
tried and tried, and for the amount, I couldn't win anything. I was like,
But you won before, so
so
doesn't stop us from trying again.
yeah. Um, let's see. Speargrass says he rode off a car trying to miss a kangaroo at 110. Went into the gully, went airborne, missed a tree, hit a boulder, totaled the car, but only got a scratch. 97 Mitsubishi Lancer, missed that car. Yep. Robert Lonis, you indirectly won the tree light. You didn't win nothing. if I were Cheryl, I would install that in the kitchen as a way to crush cans. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Or to open jars or something. I would install that for something non-blacksmithing related, just cause, using two people to try and win. Come on, man. uh, anyway, my week went pretty good. Finished up. I believe we are, aside from, we are waiting on um, two things. And aside from that, we are 100. We are, I'm 99.5% finished with one of the three large jobs we are doing. The only thing holding us up, we are waiting for the water heater to get in, so we can get in there and just go boom, boom, done. And then the granite countertops and garbage disposal to get in, so we can connect the garbage disposal wires there, ready and waiting. And the granite countertops have a backsplash, and we need to put three outlets in once it's there. Oh, yeah, and I got to do the under cabinet lights. But, all of that should take a day or two when I get back from vacation. Um, Paul Orchard, why is my name green? Because you are a channel subscriber or channel member. That
Black
is,
Collar Iron, I believe, gifted him a channel membership
was
yesterday.
was that what that was?
I believe so.
Yeah, Paul Orchard. I believe Black Collar Iron works. So if he pops in, give him a big old thank you. Um, Gifted you a channel membership because you've been trying to do it for months now. So, um, vacation where? My backyard. I got a lot of work to do. I got 2 weeks off, and every year, end of year, uh, the company shuts down for 2 weeks for the holidays, and I take that opportunity to catch up on either yard work or if I'm able to um, take a trip. I'm not in a position to take a trip this year, so nowhere. Um, but that begins, I think, Wednesday next week. I got a couple small things to do Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm on vacation. Then hopefully I can take that time to get to that wood pile and fix my chimney and all sorts of stuff that I've been meaning to do. Uh, Catch up on a lot of couch time because everybody knows I'm lazy. Yeah, what? Yeah, yeah, okay. I see. Yep, yep, yep. Bite your tongue. What's up, Mr. Pekka? But yeah, so yeah, my that's kind of my week is just work, 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 and going to it. Wow, really got some scam on my email about a free gift, but I deleted it. Who gifted it to me? That would be Michael over at Blue
Black Collar Ironworks.
Black Collar Ironworks. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's what that is. Welcome back, Stephen Parsons. You were first in and first out, I guess. um, but yeah, so um, should we topics discuss a bit of behind the scenes of how our topics are chosen and run?
Sure.
Okay. Um, yeah, I wanted to address something right quick, just real briefly, about the way we choose topics, why we choose topics, when the rare occasions that when we combine topics and stuff. Um, we have in general a schedule that pushes about 4 weeks in advance of a list of topics to bring up and to discuss. Um, Occasionally, some of those topics will be uh, coveted by you, the viewers, and and would like everybody looks forward to them. We hate pushing back a especially a topic that we've announced, you know, um, and but also occasionally we get topics that become topical and to we three as hosts, and it's kind of like what we need to squeeze this in for this show, uh and with that, several times, or well, our schedule is it's me always here, Sully always here, unless you're working, then you're kind of just in the background, and Adam every other week. So topics that are kind of pertinent to Adam, such as historical topics or a specific steel that or a specific topic that Adam would like to discuss, those have to be set for when Adam's here. And if we were to push back, say, the Viking steel, it would have been pushed back, I think, on our schedule another 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and
Yes.
we had already promised we were going to do it. However, last week we had a topic to bring up to discuss due to you know kind of a mutual personal issue or personal mutual personal issues. Each of us had something to discuss, uh, that we needed to bring up mental health, as a bit of a topic. And due to the fact that the Vikings, if you watched the episode, it was an hour and 40 minutes long. The Viking steel was a short topic because, and unless somebody has more information that we couldn't find, which you're welcome to share either in the Discord and we can brush up on it again later, Viking steel didn't actually exist. Yes, Vikings were able to make steel. However, they were primarily traders and pirates, and got, as you saw in the episode, got their steel from elsewhere. So it's, possible that what people would consider Viking steel in the terms of like the Ulfberht forge or Ulfberht swords was actually steel purchased from Syria and Damascus. You know, um, so yeah, because they were active in that area. Now, I'm not. We're not bringing back up that topic. It's just an explanation. That was a short. Viking steel itself was a very short topic. Um, So we combined those, and that was a decision behind the scenes for the smoothality of the show, to help the flow of it. And if you were not happy with that, I do apologize, and we will try our hardest to keep a show at a specific topic. Um, but sometimes it's just a small topic, and we've got to go off on tangents, or got to you know bring two together. Good morning, Roy.
And,
So,
and, and to be fair,
okay,
to be fair, um, sometimes when we research a topic or whatever, I mean, we know how much material we have, and if we've only got like 10 to 15 minutes of material on a topic, I mean, some shows will just say, okay, well, we'll just BS around for 20 minutes, and then we'll get into the topic, and then we'll BS around for the rest of the show. And when it ends, whatever. And sometimes it's like, hey, I got 10 minutes where all I got is 10 minutes. That's as long as I can stretch this out, just because there's just not a lot to say. It's very cut and dry. And sometimes that's the case. And if that's the case, as it was last week and as it is this week, then let's throw in two things that way we can get 20 or 30 minutes out of it. Sometimes that goes a little bit more. You just never know. And so sometimes we cover multiple things just so we don't run out of stuff, and then we're just sitting here going, uh-huh, yeah, and reading comments all the rest of the show. I mean,
yeah,
we have some compelling content, and and sometimes we figure this stuff out, well in advance, and sometimes,
we
it's on the
we
fly.
yeah, we fly by the seat of our pants very often. We're all very good at improv. um, so which actually brings us to today's topics. Um, so I'll do a real quick intro into where this steel comes from, or where we came across this steel. Um, and if some of you may know of it, some of you may have it, uh, but if you don't, it's an amazing steel if you can find it. And I don't know where to find it. Sully might be able to help with that. However, it is called stress-proof steel. It is a hexagonal steel. It's a hexagon bar that we got years back from Uncle Buck's Forge at Quad State. Uh, he had acquired a supply of it and was selling it in, what was it, 3 foot sticks?
Uh, yes, I believe they're either 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4 foot sticks, and it's like, I want to say 3/8 or half-inch hex
Yeah,
bar.
half inch hex.
And he was touting it as the brand name of the steel is stress proof steel, and had a stack of the spec sheets that came with it, and it's like a proprietary steel, and some real, I put it off as, oh, it's a decorative steel that can like it's just use it as a hanger bar for something heavy or something. I didn't know the capabilities of it until this morning. So uh, take it away, Alex,
Yeah, sure. So,
and
stress proof is. Hmm?
tell me when to pull up a video.
You can go. You go ahead and pull up the video while I'm reading the stuff from the manufacturer and all that.
All right.
So stress proof is it's a proprietary steel that is manufactured by exclusively by Niagara LaSalle. And it's produced using a proprietary process that draws the bar through special dies under heavy draft, and then it stress relieves it in a precisely controlled furnace. And Niagara Lassalle developed this groundbreaking process in 1938, so it's been around a while, and it that changed the economics of part production. In this modern age, uniformity and the machinability of a product is a crucial factor in improved productivity, and we not only meet this critical need but exceed expectations. So it's improved wearability without case hardening, strength without heat treating, exceptional surface quality, excellent machinability, use your words, extended tool life, resistance to fatigue and stress, balanced working, minimized warping and distortion, and controlled low stress. Stress proof is electromagnetically tested using eddy currents, although it can also be induction hardened. It should be watched for quench cracks. Um, the chemistry on it, it's AISI 1144 or A311 are the designations for it. It is 0.40 to 0.48 carbon, 1.35 to 1.65 percent manganese, 0.040 phosphorus. And in my video that I did last night, I got my numbers backwards. I said that one of the properties of it was probably because of the phosphorus content. It's actually the sulfur. The reason it's not forge weldable is probably the sulfur. I said phosphorus, but I meant sulfur. The sulfur content is 0.24 to 0.33 with a 0.35 max of silicon. Now I've played. I mean, like when I bought this stuff a few years back, I immediately went into John's forge and started playing with it. Oh, okay, what can I do with this stuff? And the first thing I did was just pounded out a chisel right quick, and then let it air cool. Does it skate a file? Nope. All right. So then I quenched it in oil. Does it skate a file? Nope. And then I quenched it in water. Does it skate a file? Sure enough. Okay, well, let's see what happens when we do a snap test. And anyways, and I went over all this in the video that I put out last night. And I just specifically went out and did this just for, so there was some video stuff to go with this show today. And I got to say, I mean, like, I find it, I mean, like, I love this stuff. And I mean, like, I kind of made a mistake at one point in time and made a pair of tongs out of this stuff that were really, really horrible. And I have since cut the reins off of those tongs and reused them for tooling. But yeah, it's really, really good stuff because the interesting thing. So the one of the chisels that I have at work is probably 8 inches long, I would say. And I mean it's my most often used little. It's one of the ones with the curved edge, and I never have to sharpen it. I mean, it's always sharp. I heat treated it and I tempered it in the oven at 400 for like 2 hours, whatever, that whole thing, to give it kind of a straw color, what have you. And while it will maintain the edge, it's always sharp. When hammering with it, it'll occasionally, like, if I'm hammering too hard, it'll occasionally catch a little bit of a bend, and that's like really weird to me. So I can just like lay it on the anvil and just like tap 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 tap, or the striking anvil, and straighten it right back out. So while it has that like flexibility where it'll take a bend, the edge is just forever sharp. I can literally cut mild steel with it with no issues, which surprised me. But that's really good stuff. And it reacts differently, like you just saw in that picture a little while ago, the way it snaps when it's hardened versus the way it snaps when it's tempered. It's considerably different, and it's got very interesting grain structure. Really neat stuff. And whereas because it's a hex bar, you would think it'd be really good for doing some decorative stuff. And immediately I'm like, no, I'm gonna make, because I thought the same thing too. And then once I checked it, or tested its durability, I'm like, I think I'm gonna save this for tools. So, and that's what I'm doing with it.
Yeah. So right here, I'm showing you using it, smacking it against mild steel and hammering at it, and you're showing that the edge is held up beautifully, and that's just with a water quench and a brought to blue temper or brought to
Yeah,
squash. Yeah,
I for the video, I mean, like I mean, it was kind of cold and I was kind of in a hurry, and I mean, like, yeah, I cut that piece off. That was the one that snapped off clean, and then I run the belt grinder across it, and then I stuck it in my forge with it still running, like tip first, and pulled it out. I mean, like literally, I think it took 4 seconds, and the tip started taking a little bit of a blue color, and then I just quenched it off, and that's all I did to it right there. And I wasn't really worried about like tempering back the part where I was striking it with the handle because it's not a tool I was going to use. It was just for demonstration purposes, and
right.
it was going to take 2 or 3 hits. That's all. I mean, it was never intended to be. If it was a tool that I was going to use at a tournament, I would have tempered it from the back.
Right.
Done a draw temper on it from the handle end.
Now I will say the two bits that I'm showing right now, I showed them a couple times during your explanation, but I'll give an actual voice to it. Right there, where it snaps off right quick, that is hardened or quenched in water, no temper, and it snaps off with that grain, you know, and then you quenched and tempered to, what did you say, straw for the snap test, where
Yes.
where it split instead of snapping, which I thought was just wild. And as you were saying, it's hard to see in the video, but you were saying it had a look like wrought iron,
Or,
string.
or or a feel, because the more you temper it back when you do a snap test like that, the deeper the color you temper it, the more that it'll go down the length of the bar. It'll like break down the length of the bar instead of straight across. And the more temper you put in it, the more that will like hang on and bend with it. So I mean, like you could get, I mean, if you temper it back to blue, it'll bend almost over to a 90-degree before it comes all the way off.
Which is why it's called stress proof.
Right, and that's why I liken it to wrought iron, because it doesn't just snap right off. The more you temper it back, the more it holds on and bends before it rips completely loose with that
Right.
kind of fibrous, grainy texture.
Yes. All right. We'll go back to Sunday morning. Yeah. So the big question on it, Paul Orchard has, is where is it found and what is it made for?
Okay, it is manufactured by Niagara LaSalle. Now they are a manufacturer there and probably just a wholesaler. The best I could say, I know McMaster Car carries it, and there are several other, like when I looked it up on the internet, there are several other like steel supply places that specifically carry stress proof in various dimensions and specifications, such as hex or square or round, half inch, 3/8, one. You can pretty much find whatever you need at any of those places. And I would think if you have a like fairly large, robust steel supply area or distributor in your area, it's possible that they could order it for you, but it might have to be like volume, I would say, because it's maybe. I mean, and they might carry it if there's because it's specifically manufactured for machining. It's like, so in the spec sheet that I got from Uncle Buck when I got it, it really talked about how it was exceptionally machinable, um, and was very easy on the tools, like the carbide bits and whatever. That when you chuck it up in a lathe, it's very, since it's because of its excellent machinability, it doesn't the tools last longer or whatever. But then it also says at the same time it's just not forgeable. It says forgeability and it says no. And it's like, so that's why we're all like, I mean, and nobody really checked it. So I'm like, well, let's see what happens when you get it hot and hit it with a hammer. And turns out, it forges really nice. It just, and I did like, see, I tried, I filmed all this a couple weeks ago, and then I got a new phone, and when it was updating or whatever, my cloud storage was quote unquote full because it backed up all my videos. And I just assumed that if there's a video on my phone, I've either already used it or I decided not to use it. So I just deleted all the videos on my phone, and one of them was this video.
Mm.
And I forgot where I was going with that.
That you went
Uh,
last night, scrambled and made this video.
yeah, no, but that's not where I was going with it. But um, I had a point to that because there's something I did to the last one that I didn't do this time. And anyways, um,
Let's see. Metal Bloobs, it's asking what metal this is. This is stress-proof steel that we're discussing right now. Um, Wayne Heights says A33 and stressed steel was originally designed for naval use to be used in forging and machining aboard ships and submarines for repairs and minimize the stocks of steel and weight. Now, go
I
ahead.
know what it was. Uh, uh, in the last time I filmed this, I did flatten a couple pieces out in an attempt to do a forge weld on it. And I mean, like I tried to do it with no flux. I tried to do it with regular flux, with Iron Mountain flux, and no matter what I did, it would not stick. And so I think maybe that's why they consider it not forgeable is because it will not forge weld.
Right.
I've never tried any other type of welding with it, whether arc or MIG or anything like that. It's just all I've done with it mostly is cut a piece off, hammer it into a chisel or a punch or something like that. That's basically all I've ever done with it.
Yeah. Mr. Pekka asks, does that material got an EN number or just an ASA ISI?
As far as I can tell, the only numbers associated with it are 1144 and A311.
Okay. So if that helps you guys look it up, there you go. Um, Paul Orchard, probably made for making custom high-speed cutting tools. I don't know if it's a high-speed steel because that's like a separate designation um, than stress proof. So I'm not sure about that. But yeah, um, try and forge weld in a canister. There's a thought. Big Dog says there is a small quantity on eBay, and then he sends the link to an eBay listing. Cool. So you can, if you want, you can get it in small quantities through eBay if they have some. That's small quantities, not a small quantity. So there is somebody on eBay that's selling it in small quantities.
Hey, I got the microstructure on it is considered pearlite and ferrite. The size range rounds 1/4 inch through 4.5 inch, and hexagon 1/4 inch through 2 inch. So that's your size range of it right there.
Through 2 inch?
And the the size tolerance the sizing tolerance is all of them are under 7 thousandths of an inch within tolerance. Most of them are 4 or 5. But the 4 inch to 4.5 inch has a 7 thousandths tolerance, and all the rest are 4 or 5.
So it comes in a
But I mean,
2 inch hex bar
who's going
stock?
to be 4.5 inch round stock?
It comes in 2.5 or 2 inch hex stock. I wonder if it would make a good
Uh,
hammer. It is. Big Dog says
hey,
awesome for hammers.
yeah, hex stock through 2 inch.
Ooh, ooh, I'm gonna have to look
Yeah,
that
no,
up.
I would imagine. I mean, like as good as it makes a chisel, I would think it'd make a really kick-ass hammer.
So I'll have to look that up. uh, I'm a sucker for A33 though. No, Robert Lonis, I make hammers out of A33, not A311 stress proof. Um, which, as I understand it, is a little bit different. So similar but different. With A33, you don't temper it at all. Um, but yeah, Eric says if you have a Lowe's near you, you can order there from McMaster Car and have it shipped to Lowe's and shouldn't have to pay shipping. They're sister companies. Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. You know, not a fan of Lowe's. I will never be Lowe's hashtag sponsored. Could you make a hammer out of air hardening steel? I suppose you could. Not certain how effective it would be, but I mean, like, let me see. What's a good air hardening steel?
S7.
Yeah, I was trying to think if I've ever seen an S7 hammer.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. A2. A2. I don't even know what A2 is. Y'all are bringing up steels that I don't even know. 15B30. What's that? Oh, my brain. Um, but while we're on the topic of uh, quad state found metals, there's another one that was found at Quad State by a guy. He's got a whole stock of it, and he brings a handful every year to Quad State, and he calls it spline steel.
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't. He calls it nifty stuff. But I mean, we've just come to calling it spline steel for ease of trying to describe what we're talking about. So I mean, amongst our group, when you say spline steel, we all know what we're talking about.
Right. So, and this comes in two. I should have grabbed some. This comes in two styles. One is like a square bar with four splines on it, and the other one is it's almost like a star shaped, where it's literally like a gear. If you were to slice it thin, it'd be like a mini gear because we get it in like what 3/8 stock, and
They're quarter inch.
huh,
They're quarter inch.
1/4 inch. That's it. Woo.
Yeah.
Um, Merry Christmas, there, big dog. Yeah, and this he was talking about the steel. He didn't have any spec sheets. He didn't really know what it was, but he knows where he got it. And it's another proprietary steel, but one we don't really know anything about. We don't have any info without going to a max spectrometer. Did I say that right? Please tell me I said that right.
Or you can just say mass spec.
Yes, one of those big machines, and getting legit numbers on it. But money. Um, but he was talking about it, and apparently where he gets it is the auto industry, and what the steel is used for is um, for automatic, mechanical seats, like the seats that you push a button, it goes bing, 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 moves around. It's like the gear steel for that. Um, you know,
It's the bar that goes that runs the motor. The motor runs it on one side, and then that bar goes across to the other side to run the gear on the other side. So it connects one side of the seat to the other so that it can move forward and back smoothly, and not just move on one side. So the motor's moving both, moving the seat on both tracks.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and switch to YouTube Vision if you would like to discuss what we do know about this.
Okay. So this stuff it's really fun to play with. It makes great little steak flippers. Last night I just made like a little bitty miniature icicle out of it. That's really all. Just for the shake, because the point was I was showing how when you forge it down into a point, even though it's got all these little ridges and stuff on them, even at a black heat, it all just kind of amalgamates into, with no cold shuts or none of that are visible even. So it's just really fascinating like that. So you don't have to like work it at a welding heat to close it all up or anything like that. And it moves like butter, real smooth. And I mean, and then it because of the shape of it, it twists really nice. Now all I have is the square stuff. I don't have any of the hex stuff left, and so when I got to Quad State this year, he just sold out all of the hex, and I was like, ah.
I wish you'd have
So I
told
didn't
me.
get
I do
any of
have
that.
some. You
No,
you
it's all right.
you could have taken some from my stock.
Yeah, I'll get some next year.
Okay.
We'll show up early. But yeah. So I couldn't really demonstrate with the hex, so I had to go with the just the sure, just the square stuff.
Yeah,
And but it's the same thing. They both per,
it's the same metal, just different shape,
yeah,
different
different
amount of
shape.
splines.
And the hex all smushes together with no cracks or cold shuts, exactly the same as the square bar does. It just, in my opinion, it looks a little bit better when you twist it. The hex does, and you don't have to twist it nearly as tight. And so I really like that stuff. I mean, it's in my opinion, it's way more visually appealing than the square is, but the square still works decent. And that's really all I did is I just ran a taper on one end, curved it over, and then put a twist in it with my nifty little cheater twisting
Yeah,
setup,
I'd like to.
and
I'd like
the
to
other end.
address that what's on the screen right now. That blew my mind. That's so brilliant, especially as a YouTuber um, that does live streams. That you know what I don't really want to. If I'm working on something like this and I don't want to like, oh, I gotta shift the camera over to the vise to do this 10-second twist. You know, a freaking adjustable wrench in the Hardio. I'm that I'm just why didn't I think of that? That's
Hey,
brilliant.
did you not hit transition?
I did not. Oof, I'm an idiot. All
Because
right.
I was saying, like I'm fairly close to live, and it's been on me the whole time I did the whole thing on stress proof. I mean
Yeah,
the
my
spline.
bad. I did not push the button. I did not switch cameras. But yeah, so to recap real quickly, here is a picture of the square spline. You can see it's got four little dinks off each end, and forging it down. Just to quick recap, forging it down into a point. You notice you're not getting any little cold shuts there. It's just forging and smushing nicely into it. Um, and then we'll get to the twist. Yeah, I'm sorry, I did not click transition. So,
I was like, what's because I'm all looking at my phone. I'm like, wait, am I
all
behind?
right.
I mean,
So
shouldn't be.
look at this clever boots. You know, yeah. Set a wrench in there and use another wrench and just go to town. So brilliant. The link to this video, by the way, if you'd like to watch it full audio and at full time, is pinned up in the channel here. It's pinned in the chat. Um, I believe I can post it again. Yes. And but yeah, this is the twist that Sully was discussing. It leaves a very beautiful, almost candy cane pattern.
Yeah, and what I really didn't, I messed up the camera. I hit the button twice, so it went record and then stop. I got like 3 seconds. Was the right after I? Oh no, I did get it, but I'm off camera. That's what it was. I was off to the side because I was still focused on the camera was still on the
Yeah,
hardy cutoff. Was that in the same heat that I cut it off? I went ahead and flipped it around and forged the other taper and tapered it all the way down, even down into a black heat. So, and the point was I was going to show that even that cold, it still all comes together uniform without any visible lines in it. And unfortunately, like I said, I didn't have the camera in the right spot, but you see at the end when I'm like, just waxing it or whatever, that I do believe I got a good enough close up to show that it all just kind of worked.
yeah. It's the last shot, I believe.
But I mean,
Okay.
this, yeah, and to be fair, this video was kind of a last minute thing. As I'm sitting around last night and talking to Yamez, and we're like, "What are we doing tomorrow?" Oh yeah. And I'm like, "Oh man, I
Right.
deleted those videos." I'm like, oh, I'll head out right now and go knock this out.
So this being a video, not a picture, I can't really zoom in on it. But if you
Right.
notice, if you notice in the image there, the transition from spline to taper is almost flawless. You know,
And also, what I wanted to point out is where I cut it off, it was twisted, or it was twisted. Okay, so that was, I twisted probably 8 inches of steel there, and that thing is about half of it, and I cut it off in the middle of the twist, and then forged it down into a taper, it in the same heat. So,
so yeah,
and I'm, yeah,
this is that effect, and it's just this is the square bar effect with only 4 splines. Now imagine that with I'm not sure how many splines they are on what you call a hex. It to me
they're
it's
six.
round. It looks round with
Yeah, I call it X
gouges.
because it's got 6 splines on it.
Okay, so it's 6 splines. Okay, okay, but yeah, um, some fantastic stuff if you can find it. And if you're one who goes into junkyards and tears apart um, vehicles, apparently you can find this in the seats in motorized seats. Apparently, now is that every vehicle? I'm not certain. You know, like is that every motorized seat? I don't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I don't know. I know they're purchased by someone in the automotive industry. I don't know if that means all of them, and I mean because this is U.S. made stuff, so I don't know if that's Ford, GM, Chrysler, Toyota. I don't know which company it is that's using them or all of them. I don't know that. So
right.
the only information I have is that somebody makes it specifically for them. They only sell it to them. They won't sell it to anybody else. And I mean, it's really hard to get,
The
except for
guy,
the one guy that has it.
yeah, it's he's got a contact that gets him some. They're not even supposed to give away cutoffs, offcuts and stuff. It's just it's
It's one of those
proprietary.
deals where it's like, hey, where'd you get that? Well, I know a guy that knows a guy.
Yeah. Drew Wilson says S cams. What is it, Sully?
S cams are 1040.
Okay. Um, Robert Lonis asks, do you guys know if fan motor shafts would most likely be 1045? And Mr. Pekka says C45 over here, Robert. Wayne says they're 1060. That might be one of those less, I mean, less regulated, less specific, where it's kind of whatever the company uses, like a cheap fan company may just use mild steel, whereas you get like one of those like super heavy duty industrial, exhaust fans that has to run peak performance 24/7, for 10 years straight, probably have some, badass awesome steel. Paul Orchard, good point. It may also be used for convertible top motors. Don't know. I'm not a car guy. So I hate to do it but I've got a guild meeting today. Um, we've got to kind of call that for the show and do our final thoughts. Um, we have 9 minutes and such, but uh, yeah, it's our guild Christmas party. Um, and with that again, I did a live stream yesterday. Went 2 hours 10 minutes. It was a fun time. If you didn't watch it, go check it out. It was a fun show. Um, that may cover me for tonight. I may not get a chance to do a stream tonight because of the Tidewater Blacksmiths Guild Christmas party. So uh, yeah, if I don't get to stream tonight, you guys are at least covered and have something to watch. Uh, but yeah, so on to our final thoughts. Sully.
Yeah, sure. So this is a pretty easy one. If you can get your hands on some stress proof, I highly recommend it for making things such as chisels and punches. It's fantastic stuff. It holds up impossibly well. I mean, I love it. And if you can get your hands on some spline steel, I'd recommend playing with it a little bit. And if you can't get your hands on it, go to Quad State and talk to the guy that knows a guy, and pick you some up. Because as far as I know, that's really the only place you're going to get it, other than finding it in the right spot in a wrecking yard or something like that. Really good stuff, and it's fun. It's all fun to play with in one way, shape, form, or another. Um, yeah, y'all have a Merry Christmas and be safe and enjoy some time with your family. Don't bother getting out your forge and making something this week. Spend time with everybody else, and y'all have a Merry Christmas. See you next week.
Yeah. That brings up, yeah, my final thoughts as usual. Thank you very much for showing up and for supporting us. And big thank you to all the hosts. And thank you, big round of applause for Sully, doing all that research and getting us as much science behind the steel as we can. Also, we did not get a chance to go into these specific steels. Isotopes, we'll do that in the Discord later. Um, um,
Yeah,
um, I just looked at the calendar because I don't know dates and everything. Apparently, next Sunday is Christmas
that's
itself.
exactly what I was just doing.
Now, what are we going to go live Christmas morning? I I think we should take a break, or it should be a short. We pop on, say Merry Christmas, and then let everybody get to opening their presents.
I
What
say
do
we
you?
take a break.
You say we take a break?
I say we take Christmas off.
Okay,
We'll,
guys.
we'll we'll do a New Year's show, but let's take Christmas off.
Yeah, we'll do a New Year's show, but we are going to take next Sunday off completely. Okay. Um, I may or may not, depending, may or may not go live, Christmas evening, just out of boredom, but probably not because I think we've got Christmas dinner here. Um, so expect a blank slate on tomorrow or on next week's schedule. So, with that, everybody, you all have a very Merry Christmas. If I don't see you throughout the week, from here until the new year, and I'm sure I'll do, uh, you know, my drunken New Year annual live stream where, at midnight Eastern time, I run out to the porch, all glazy eyed, shark faced. I, you know, jump in and start blubbering and crying and thanking you guys all for a great year. But barring that, we will see you guys next time we see you. Love you all. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Yule, Kwanzaa, all that fun stuff. And Wintermas. Can't forget Wintermas. Wintermas is something that I like. So, yep. Thank you all. And we will see you later. All right. And we're not clear.
Yeah.
We're not clear. Find the buttons, Yames. Hi, guys. Bye, guys. Where's the buttons? Oh, there they are. I'm doing it.